Hey there, Brett here with Quarter Properties, your Myrtle Beach area real estate expert. Hope you're doing well out there. Today I wanted to hop on here and just chat with you, folks that are moving here to the Myrtle Beach area from areas like, upstate New York, Western PA, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey. The vast amount of folks that we help on the buyer side are moving here from these areas. My brother and I, we've been in the area for, almost 50 years now. So we've got a lot of local area expertise. But what I wanted to talk with you about is, a couple of expenses that, if you're not prepared, they may catch you off guard when you move to this area. Now, the primary reason people move here are because the weather, we've got great weather. The vast majority of the year you can have an outdoor lifestyle, so we don't get closed in for a few months out of the year. So they move here for the weather. And then the second is taxes. Property taxes, the real property taxes are much lower in our area. Folks will move here and they'll, hear the stories every day. Their real property taxes on their home were $7, $8, $10, $12, $15,000 a year, and then they move here and the real property taxes are $1,500, $2,000, dollars a year. So, it's a big cost savings to get to come down and enjoy the great weather. But there are a couple of items that I hear folks that will get caught off guard if they're not prepared. Again, most things are less expensive here in our area. Like gallons of gas. The average gallon of gas right now today is around $2.50 a gallon in our state. If you're looking at, states like Pennsylvania is right around $3. New York is right around $3. Then you look at New Jersey, Connecticut, those are all around $2.90, $2.80. So, on average, gas is going to be about, 30 cents to 50 cents a gallon cheaper in our area. Food being cheaper. So a lot of things are cheaper here. So folks can get their pensions, locked in. They get their retirement locked in. They come down. The houses are more affordable. The real property tax is more affordable. Gas is more affordable. So there's lots of things that are more affordable. But there are a couple of items that, if you're not planning in advance, it might catch you off guard. And number one is going to be your homeowner's insurance. Okay. Depending on where you live in our area, like if you really want to be east of Business 17, closer to the beach, then you're definitely going to see an increase in real property tax. If you want to be east of the Intercoastal Waterway, you're going to see an increase in your real property tax comparatively. So just to give you an idea, the average annual property tax in the Myrtle Beach area, closer to the beach, is going to be around $4,500 per year. Okay. So if you're moving here from upstate New York and you want a golf cart ride to the beach, you want to be able to walk to the beach. Well, in upstate New York, let's say you're in the Buffalo area, average annual homeowner's insurance there is around $1,100 a year. Let's say you're coming from Western PA, outside of the Pittsburgh area, average homeowner's insurance, $1,300 to $1,500 a year. Well, if you're getting here and you're getting wanting to be super close to the beach, you got to know you might have a few extra grand a year going towards the wind and hail coverage on your home. So don't get caught off guard. Now, as we get a little bit more west, just barely, you go into, say, the Carolina Forest area, that's just west of the waterway, but still in Myrtle Beach. Average homeowner's insurance in there is around $2,500 a year. Work your way out into the Conway area, a little bit further west, 30, 40 minutes from the beach. Average homeowner's insurance in that area is going to be a couple grand a year. So it all depends on where you live, okay? But if you want to be real close, walk, bike, golf cart to the beach, just know your homeowner's insurance is probably going to be more expensive, okay? The second thing that's going to be more expensive, and I don't want this to catch you off guard, personal property tax, okay? So your automobiles, your RVs, your boats, your registered, golf cart, these kind of things. I have folks down here that move here constantly from, say, New York, Pennsylvania, where they don't have any personal property tax on their, their recreational type vehicles, their automobiles. They've bought them. A lot of times up front, there's a higher upfront sales tax. So they will have already bought their RV or their boat or whatever, and they've paid that upfront sales tax. And then they move to our area and they realize they've got real property tax, okay, annually, every year after year, your motorcycle. So all these kinds of vehicles that are registered, there will be personal property tax on those, okay? And that's determined, there's obviously limits, but each area you live in is gonna have their own millage rate. So the property tax will be a little bit different, depending on where you're at. But, I always say this, every government entity, they have to get their money from somewhere to operate their police force, their EMS, their fire trucks, all these kinds of things that they're doing. So our real property tax on your home is going to be way less, but you do have some tax on your personal property, okay? Now, the people who really win are the ones that move down here and they've got one, they have their home where property tax is way less and they have one car that they share. They do really well on that. But if you like to have lots of toys, extra, vehicles, multiple cars, recreational vehicles, just know you will have some annual property tax on those. And a lot of times people have questions on those. Roughly, what does that cost per year? If you're one of those folks that's going to come down here and have some recreational vehicles and you want some help with that, don't hesitate to reach out because we can definitely help answer those questions. So, all right, if you like this video, please click the like button. If you want to keep up with more real estate tips, Myrtle Beach area insights, those kind of things, please click the subscribe button. If you're interested in shopping Myrtle Beach area real estate, we've got a link in the details with the easiest way to shop the most up-to-date listings. If you're thinking about maybe selling your home and you're here in the Myrtle Beach area, or you've got a second property, something like that you're thinking about selling, and you just want to keep up with your home value, we've got a link for that. If you want to chat, don't hesitate to reach out. My cell phone number is right there. My email address is right there, and we'll be talking to you soon.